Now let's get to modeling the vent pipes. For example, I'm going to be modeling the vent pipes which we have over here on this restroom area, for which we've also modeled the sanitary pipes up on the 5th floor. Now, if you look closely, you will understand that these dashed lines are indicating the vent pipes, which means that these vent pipes are going to be going up through the wall, and then they're going to be turning below the ceiling of that level, then go all the way to get to the riser. Here is our riser vent, but its position is a little different in the plan. So in the model, we're going to be drawing this way, because if you look over on this side, we've got some ducts and duct risers. Now we do have enough space for some other vents to lead here, but as for this vent riser, it's going to have to be repositioned to here. We've got the next lavatory connecting to this line, and on the opposite side there's also 2 more lavatories connecting to the same pipe, and then there's also the vent pipes which are connected to the toilet fixtures. These again are going up through the wall, then going this way to connect to this main vent line. So basically what we're going to do is that we're going to be modeling these vent pipes, and that'll complete the entire sanitary pipes that need to be modeled. Now the first vent that we place is going to be the vent pipes for the lavatories or the sinks. Those pipes will help us determine the elevation that we need to apply, because if we want to try from the vent pipes of the other fixtures, there is the possibility that we might get them mixed up and not know if they should be under the ceiling or above the floor. So starting with the lavatory pipes will make that a lot easier. Now first I'm going to have to go on to this pipe over here which has the sanitary pipe below it, and I'm going to have to raise it up vertically to make it into a vent pipe. And if we look in this plan, it'll be a lot clearer. As you can see, it's going up, then out of the wall, going down this way, and then toward the riser. The same thing goes for these other ones. First, I'm going to model one of the lavatories, so I'm just going to start with this one. First, I'm going to have to create a section along this fixture. So section, click, and click. And then I'm going to also make the section a little tighter. Then right-click on it and go to View. Now, as you can see here, this is the sanitary branch, which is for the lavatory itself. And this pipe below is going to be leading to the sewage. And as for this pipe going upwards, this one is the vent pipe. Let me also stretch the section from the top so we could also see above the ceiling. Now we have no more sanitary pipes on this level right here. And if we did, then this pipe would have had to go up to below the ceiling and below those pipes. But now that there's nothing, it can go up to any elevation. First, I'm going to delete this pipe because this pipe system type is WP and not vent. So delete. And now I'll get the pipe command using the shortcut PI. Now I'm going to go over here to change the system type and make it vent. Now the vent pipe type is going to have to be the same as the sanitaries. So I'll select Volsier polypropylene. Then for its diameter, I'm going to put 50, which is exactly what the plan says. And if we look over here, we can check to make sure that the diameter of the vent pipes is supposed to be 50. Now as for the middle elevation, since we're going to be drawing straight upwards, it's actually disabled altogether. The slope is going to have to be up, and for the vents, the slope is reversed from sanitary. For the sanitary pipes, when we got farther from the fixtures, then the slope was going to have to be down, but for vents, we're going to need slope up as we get farther. For the vent pipes, we need the slope of 0.5%, which we don't have here, and that means we're going to have to define it. To define slopes, we're going to need to go over to the Mechanical Settings window. So we're going to have to go to the Manage tab, drop down MEP Settings, then Mechanical Settings. Its shortcut is also MS. Now we're going to go to the slope, click on New Slope, enter 0.5, click OK, and OK. So now again, we're going to get the pipe command PI, and we've already checked all the items we needed. So we're going to make the slope 0.5, and then I'm going to go over here and click on this fitting first. Then I'm going to draw all the way up to below the ceiling, then a little bit to the left. Now for the vents, we're going to be needing 90-degree fittings, but as you can see, we are using this double 45-degree elbows. So select the pipe, go to Edit Type, then Edit, and we're going to re-enable those single elbows, click OK and OK, and then we're going to delete this elbow, Then use the trim tool, TR, to connect these two pipes together, and that'll give us a 90-degree elbow between them. Alright, now if we look over here, we can see that another thing happened, which is that this transition was placed right next to this T-fitting, and we could have this transition be a little higher or farther from the T to make it clearer. So to do that, first I'm going to have to split the pipe on here, and then I'm going to change the diameter of this pipe and make it the same as this one. The one below is 75, so I'm going to make this one 75 as well. Now as you can see, the transition is higher and is now movable and more clear to the eye. So that's it up to here. Basically, we've analyzed that all the pipes that go below this floor are going to have to somehow connect to this vent pipe and below the ceiling of the same level we are modeling. So that means that the sanitary pipes for all fixtures in this project are going to have to go below, and the vent pipes go below the ceiling of the associated level. Let's go to the 5th floor again, where you can see that because of the view range, we can't see this pipe right now. So we're going to hit VR, and as you can see, the top offset was up to 1 meter from the level above. We're just going to change that to 0, as then we're going to want to see all the way up to the ceiling. Now, we might also see the sanitary pipes of the level above, but if you want to make sure that you don't get them mixed up, then you could press VR again, then change the depth into 0. So that's going to be ceiling to ceiling. Now, we don't really have anything around here, so I'm going to grab this pipe and draw it backwards a little. Right-click on it, draw pipe. Make sure the slope is up 0.5%. And now I'm going to go all the way down here according to the plan. Click. Then I'm going to move to the left. Click around here. And then I'm going to make the last click on the riser, like so. So we've drawn this one line. And if we double check in the plan, we can see that we've drawn the right path for this pipe. Now we're going to have to also draw and connect this next pipe, as well as these others over here. So all these 4 lavatories need to be connected to this pipe. Now I'm going to go over here, select this elbow, click on the plus sign to convert it to a T, right click and draw pipe. And this time we're going to need slope down because we're getting closer to the fixtures. And that means that we're going to have to draw up to here to connect to those lavatories. So click, and then I'm going to go upwards here. Make another click, then draw a little bit of pipe to the right, then click. Now we're going to be drawing the pipes to connect to this lavatory. So we're going to move this section, right click and go to view. First I'll select this pipe and delete it, and then I'll get the pipe command PI. And first I'm going to start with diameter 75, slope up, then I'm going to make a click over here, then draw a little bit ahead. And now I'm going to change the diameter to 50. Then I'm going to draw farther ahead. Now you can see that we got this transition. So go all the way up and click. Now we're going to use trim TR to connect this pipe with this one. Now I could also go on to this transition and bring it closer to this T-fitting. Now let's head back to the floor plan. And then I'm going to click on this close inactive views to close the extra views. And now I'm going to be connecting this pipe to this lavatory the same way as we have done so far, so I'm going to have to move this section onto it first. I'm going to also stretch it because we're going to want to see both pipes and connect them together. But before going to this section, I'm going to get the pipe command PI, enable inherit elevation, and slope down, and then I'm going to click on this pipe, then draw a little bit to the right. We're going to need this T-fitting first, and the same thing on here. Inherit elevation, click on this pipe, and a little bit to the right. Now this was going to be connected to the pipe below, and that's why we got the error. So once again, inherit elevation, then click over here. And now you can see that it's highlighting the axis of this lower pipe. So we're just going to draw farther and click here. Now let's go in this section, right click and go to view. And we're going to repeat the same thing. First we delete this pipe, and now get the pipe command PI, change the diameter to 75, then draw a little bit of pipe upwards, and then we're going to change the diameter to 50, then draw all the way up to here. Now we're going to use trim TR and connect these two pipes together. We're going to repeat the same thing on this side, delete this pipe first, then get the pipe command PI, make the diameter 75, then click on here, draw a little bit of pipe, then we're going to change the diameter to 50, draw a little more, and now that we've got the transition, we can simply use the trim tool TR and connect this pipe to this one. also take this transition and bring it lower, as well as this one. Alright, so we've drawn this vent pipe, and we've also figured out up to which elevation our vent pipes need to be. Now the other vent pipes that we're going to need to connect are for these toilet fixtures over here. So we're going to go take a look in the plan, and here we are. We've connected these vent pipes, and now we're going to have to draw this pipe all the way to here and connect it to these two vent pipes through the wall, and which are for these toilet fixtures. Alright, so we're going to select this elbow, click on the plus sign to convert it to a T. Then we're going to right click on the T, select draw pipe, then make sure the slope is down, and we're going to draw all the way to the right here according to the plan, and then we're going to go all the way up to around this area. Okay, so now we're going to need to add a branch to this sanitary pipe and make it vent and somehow lead it here. We're going to have to draw this vent branch going up from the sanitary pipe, and that just means that we can't add this branch from the side of the pipe. We're going to have to draw the branch from above this pipe, lead it upwards to below the ceiling, and then it's going to go inside the wall and then connect to this fixture. Now you'll understand it better once we actually draw the pipes. Now as you can see, this pipe over here has the elevation of around -1 meter, and now we're going to get the pipe command PI, and now we check polypropylene, system vent, diameter 50, and for the elevation, for example, I'm going to put -300. The pipe was at around 1 meter, and we just put a higher elevation, -300, and slope is going to be up. Now we're going to click over here, then draw to the right, a little farther till we get to the wall, and click. We are going to go check in section to see how it's been connected. Now this pipe needs to continue straight up. Up to what elevation? We're not sure, we're just going to put 3000, then click apply twice. So there goes this pipe over here, and now we're going to get the pipe command again to add the branch at below the ceiling. So we're going to enable inherit elevation, slope down, then click over here, then draw to the right, and click again. Now if we take a look in section, we will understand better what's going on here. So I'm just going to grab this section, move it onto these pipes, and I'm going to make it a little tighter. Now right click on it and go to view. And here we are. I just drew this pipe at a random elevation and it's in the ceiling, so I'm going to have to lower it. And now as for this pipe, we can lead it straight up to below the ceiling of the upper level, because we can't just have this pipe go right beside the toilet fixture. Instead, this is going to have to go to the nearest wall, go through it, then straight up. And we already have this pipe over here. Then connect them together using the trim tool, TR, and connect. So that's why I said that it's best that you start with the lavatory pipes, and by drawing the lavatory's vent pipes, we understood that if we have sanitary pipes down here, then the vent pipes are going to have to be up here. The sanitary pipes were for lavatories, as well as the toilet fixtures. For the lavatories, it was clear enough that the vent pipes need to go up, and if we look at this one, we can tell that we can't draw this pipe straight upwards from here. So the best possible way is going to the nearest wall, then upwards through that wall to get to this vent pipe. So there goes one fixture. Now we're going to have to do the same thing for this toilet as well, and this one could go up through the wall, because this is the nearest wall to the pipe. But let's see what the plan actually says. So we're going to double check in here, and in the plan we can see that the pipe is going this way and then to the right. So we have two options. For example, I could draw this pipe a little upwards, then raise it from here, or from here. There may not be enough room for an elbow to be placed here, so it's best if we go forward a little and then continue. Let's get the pipe command PI, then have the elevation of -300, then make sure the slope is up, then click over here, and I'm going to be drawing at a 45-degree angle, because if I try to draw straight up, that might interfere with this transition. Even if it doesn't, there's not much of a difference, but I'm just going to draw at 45. Now, the reason why we got this error is that we don't have enough room for a T-fitting to be placed. For example, if you take a look over here, this is how big the T-fitting is going to be, and we didn't have enough room for it. So my first guess as to why we didn't get the T-fitting is because of the size. Therefore, I'm just going to select this T-fitting, then click on Create Similar, or use the shortcut CS. Now first I'm going to try to place the T-fitting manually to see if it fits, and you can see that it didn't even rotate. So in order to place that T-fitting in an easier way, I'm just going to select this pipe and its fitting and move them a little to the right. And now I'll get the pipe command again, PI, elevation -300, and slope up. And now I'm going to click over here, then go up at 45 degrees. And as you can see, now we've got the T-fitting without any errors. Now I'm going to go towards the wall, then I'm going to raise it from there up to 3000, then click apply twice. Okay, now first let's fix something here real quick. I'm just going to select this T-fitting, move it a little to the left, stop here, and then I'm going to select this pipe and move it back to where it was and stop here. It's also along the axis of the fixture. We could also move this T a little more to the right. So technically this fitting does fit here, but because of Revit's own limitations, we got an error, so we had to trick it a little. First I made enough space, placed the T-fitting, then move this pipe back to where it was. Alright, so here I'm going to right click, draw pipe, make sure slope is down, and I'm going to draw in this direction. And now I'm going to get the align command, AL, align this axis with this axis, and then I'm going to go over here in this section, right click, go to view, and here we are. Now we can use the trim tool, TR, and connect these pipes together. Now if I want to be able to see these pipes over here, then I could just drag over them, then use the shortcut VX to view them in a 3D view. Now as you can see, this pipe is over here going up through the wall, then connecting to this vent pipe, and so is this one. It's going up through the wall, connecting to this vent pipe, then leading to the riser. So the sanitaries are down and the vents are up. Let's hit VV because we've made the architectural invisible, so we're going to turn it back on, then click OK. Also, to have a better view on things, we could just change the discipline from mechanical to coordination. And here we are. We've got the sanitary pipes below, then through the vent pipes below the ceiling. They're going up through the wall, and then they turn below the ceiling of the upper level, then continue ahead to their destination. Now let's go to the floor plan, and as you can see, this pipe is going below the beam. So we're probably going to need to readjust the elevation. But also, when we were looking at the 3D view, we didn't see any interferences with the beam, but we can still take this section, move it over here. On this pipe, right click and go to view. Now here it is. It's going below the beam, but you should always come back and check, and if you notice any interferences, then you're going to have to lower your pipe if possible. Or you could even reposition it from below the whole beam, because sometimes you might not be allowed to have supports below the beams. Remember that we're going to need some supports for this pipe. Now as for these two fixtures over here, we're going to have to once again connect the vent pipes. For example, for this one, we could draw the pipe straight up through the wall. Or for example, for this one, we could go inside the wall, then draw upwards, or we could even double check in the CAD plan. And as you can see in the plan, here the vent pipes are going through the wall on the left. So we've got this pipe and this pipe, and so the vent pipes are connected to their own fixtures. So just like what we did for the right side, we could draw this pipe at a 45-degree angle, then raise it through the wall. And as for this one, it's going to go directly to the left, and then up through the wall, and eventually connect to this main vent pipe.